All right, Coach. EA Sports coverage of the National Football League is on the air. Today we continue on in Wild Card Weekend with a great AFC matchup between the Jacksonville Jaguars and the Baltimore Ravens. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the postseason on EA Sports. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And, Charles, that's really all I need to say to get you fired up. It's the postseason on EA Sports.
And no one's more fired up than the guys who are going to be playing in this game. This is what they fought for all year long. Go back to the OTAs, the mini camps, training camp, throughout the season to get to the playoffs. The intensity level will be off the charts.
The battle for the Lamar Hunt Trophy begins as we're underway in this AFC wildcard game. This will be fielded at the 6. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here at the 30-yard line. So 1st and 10 now from the 30. From the gun, Gordon. And the catch made. It's Tyler Boyd. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. The Jags picking up the first down there, a gain of 12. Throwing on first down. Gordon. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down.
We said it before the game, and I think it's still apparent. If these guys are going to advance in these playoffs, they're going to have to wreak some havoc coming off the edge.
Yeah, wild card round. They told us the wild card could be that defensive pressure. They showed it there. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. His first catch of this wild card game, and it's good for a first down. So in Raven territory now. Here's a 1st and 10 at the 47. They run it with Jacobs. And he'll go down inside the 45 before going out of bounds. And they give him 4 yards there. It'll be 2nd and 6. Looking to throw on 2nd down. Gordon. That's complete to Disley, the tight end. 4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a 3rd down.
Well, they're unable to convert that into much, but it's never a bad idea to try to get the ball into a tight end of his caliber's hands and see what kind of disruption he can cause.
Short throw to Disley, and he's going to get this inside the 30. And he's going to be taken down with the first down at the Ravens' 27-yard line. Back to the running game with Jacobs. And not much of a hole there as he gets it down to about the 24-yard line. A gain of 3, 2nd down. They will run the draw with Jacobs. And that didn't fool anybody. He's going to be dropped in the backfield. That 2nd down play nets a -4. Now they're coming up on play number 8 of this opening drive, but they're looking at a 3rd and long. Looking to throw. Gordon. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Charles, a little bit of feast or famine on this drive. They moved the ball okay, but they've been sacked twice now.
And they've got to figure out how to plug that leak a little bit, right? Keep them away from the quarterback because when he's not being hit, as you mentioned, they're moving the ball well.
Now Zane Gonzalez for the field goal try. He's going to need a little mustard on this one. It'll be a 51-yard attempt. And this one is right down the middle. And the Jaguars grab a 3-0 lead. Not the touchdown they wanted, but hey, you're on the road in the playoffs. They did get 3 on the board.
Yeah, it's a good opening drive, so you feel good about it yourself. You get to the sidelines. The defense feels good about you helping them right out of the gate. The team, yeah, they feel pretty good about coming in the playoffs and getting points on the board right away.
10-2 start. Let's go, Heavy. Heavy, what you got? What you got, Heavy? Now.
They'll try and start this drive in the air. Going right side here, and that's complete. The Ravens get a new set of downs. Give them 17 on that pickup. Back to throw now on first down.
One of the advantages of zone defense, as I remember it, is being able to see the play develop in front of you. One of the disadvantages, when they find those levels where they can hit you with it. Sometimes behind the corner and in front of the safety, it makes it tough to defend.
Back to throw now on 2nd and 10. Complete. Smith has it. And they're able to work this to the 25 before it's all said and done. Over 30 yards there. And first downs on 3 consecutive plays now. He'll look to throw. And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked up by Deion Jones, the linebacker. And he's going to get this one to the 23-yard line.
Well, this is a defense that can confuse even the best of quarterbacks with their zone schemes. And here you've got a linebacker that's going to stay at home and just sit down in that zone. And this one basically comes right to him.
Throwing to start the drive. Gordon.
Brandon, if I'm an offensive coordinator and I see an all-out rush like that, I file it away because I'm going to use their aggressiveness against them as this game goes on. I'm hit them with a screen soon.
And here's a throw taken in by Boyd. That catch good for 5. It's 3rd down.
Ready? 70, Indy.
On 3rd down, Gordon nowhere to escape, and he goes down.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
He steps into this one, and this is a rocket. Fielded at the 20.
Let's go, baby. Let's go.
3-0 after 1 on EA Sports.
He's coming.
Trying to shake off the interception from the last drive. He'll look to throw. It's caught. Smith. And he is into the end zone for a Baltimore touchdown. A big play there. 71 yards. And the Ravens have taken the lead. As a former DB, you might not like to see that, but from a wide receiver's perspective, those are the plays they dream of.
Correct on both counts, all right? Because once he took off, I mean, let's face it, that should have been done in Big Sky country. Aren't any speed limits out there? And off he went. Glad I wasn't the one trying to chase him.
Jaguars come to the line to start their next drive. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own.
A heavy rush, and down he goes.
I'm starting to feel for that quarterback back there. I mean, you know me. Normally, don't have a lot of empathy for the QB, right? In this case, definitely. He's been on constant duress this entire game. I don't know how he's surviving back there.
And to think, there's still a long way to go in this football game. No gain on the play this time, and it'll be a 3rd and long situation coming up. Throwing on 3rd and long. Gordon, and that's complete to Cooks. And they'll get him down here at the 23. They get only 4 that time as that leads us to a 4th down.
That's certainly playing down and distance very well by the defense, isn't it? Take whatever you want underneath, by all means.
And the punt team on now as this one's sent away. Let's take it on the 25. A nice job on the return there, 16 yards. And the Ravens, they'll take over. And now Baltimore gets set to take the field. And following that long touchdown pass, a one-play drive last time, to see if the defense, you know they're ready. They don't want that to happen again.
And you would have thought they would have been ready the last time. That's what you work on all the time. Make sure that no one gets behind you. That's the cardinal sin of defense, not giving up the long pass. They did. Let's see how they adjust.
And a diving grab. I think he got that. Yes. A big one there for the Ravens. It goes for 18. Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on 1st down. And an alley to run. Nothing open downfield. He keeps it himself for 11 and a 1st down. Now on 1st down, he'll drop to throw it. Got a man. It's caught for a Ravens touchdown. A 12-yard touchdown grab as the Ravens push further out in front. Sometimes those tight ends are a mismatch. They found the mismatch there.
And that's exactly why you want to drop those types of plays, because coverage is just going to go to the natural guys, the guys that make the big plays on the outside. But if you work your tight end into it, that's a tough one for a defense to handle.
Tough. They couldn't handle it. They worked out for 6. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. And out now comes Jacksonville as they get ready to go. It's been very much a slow start for them. 3 drives and just the 3 points, CD.
Yeah, if you're into the points per drive ratio, that answer is 1. And that's not going to get it done in a ball game. They've got to find a way to finish these drives in end zones, not having balls go through goalposts.
Off play action. Gordon. He completes it to Boyd. And he takes this up to the 40-yard line before being corralled. That one a pickup of 15 for Jacksonville. So quickly all the way up at the 40-yard line. Here's Jacobs on 1st and 10. And they get to him after a gain of 6 to the 46. The last run got 6, now 2nd and 4. On 2nd down, Jacobs. And he still has yet to get on track in this first half as they're going to stop him behind the line. Another example right there how this defense really is winning the entire game at the point of attack.
Yeah, right there at the line of scrimmage, because they are dominating it. It allows their interior guys to
nowhere to escape, and he goes down. 2 minutes to play here in this first half of the NFL playoffs. Coming up at the half, we remind you that we're going to do what we've done all year. We'll get you down to Jonathan Coachman in Orlando. Coach will have the lowdown of what's going on here in this wild card weekend as we begin the road to the upcoming Super Bowl. A 46-yard punt, 4-yard return. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. Out comes this field general once more, leading his offense back onto the field. And he's looked pretty good. Does have the 1 interception, but 2 touchdown passes so far. Your analysis?
They'll take the offset. When you're talking about throwing 2 touchdown passes, no one wants to see an interception thrown, but those things happen in the course of a ball game and over the course of the season. But throwing 2 touchdown passes, that's why the team has an advantage. That's what they're looking for more of.
He'll be hoping to make it a 3-to-1 ratio here in the second quarter. They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. And a short pickup there down to about the 9. It's a gain of a yard, and it'll set up 2nd and goal. Defensively, pretty good start there with their backs against the wall.
That's a win for the stop troops right there. And if I'm them, I get a little bolder now. They won the first battle. Keep coming after them. Put the pressure on them.
And he is into the end zone for a Baltimore touchdown. A 9-yard touchdown run as the Ravens push further out in front.
Heard a coach talk about those late-in-the-half scores, especially ones that give your team a pretty decent cushion. He said those could be the ones that could finish off a squad if you let them.
Yeah, they've got the cushion. This half has been theirs. Tucker with the extra point, and the lead is up to 18 now. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. There again is the running back as he trots onto the field. They've given him some touches. They haven't had a lot of success on the ground. Do you maybe keep going to that well, or do you mix it up more?
I think you mix it up more, try and loosen things up. Get the defense to react to other people, other plays, but don't forget about it. That's your horse. You know, Secretariat lost twice in his career.
So educational. That's very true, kids. Look it up. To throw on 2nd down. Gordon. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Now the Ravens going to use one of their timeouts as they'll stop it with just over 40 seconds to go in the first half. On 3rd down, here comes Jacobs. And they will bottle him up behind the line, and now will they use a timeout? The Ravens going to use the 2nd of their timeouts as the clock will stop with 37 seconds to play in this first half. His first punt, 48 yards. This one looks equally as good. 12 yards on the return that time. And out will come the offense as they take over. Getting set to go again as we look at the back, heading onto the field again. He's only had a couple of carries. I mean, when you've got a horse like this, second quarter, got to start to ride that horse a little more, don't you?
You can't just neglect him. He's got to touch it, and often, in order to get maximum out of him. Typically, these types of backs, it's the accumulation of carries, and that's when you see the damage as the game goes on.
Yeah, let's see. They're going to try to get him into the flow, we would assume here. A chance to really cap off a big first half here as they come up on 1st and goal. They'll try to run this one in. And he will take it in for a Ravens touchdown. A great play there as the first half is winding down as the Ravens push further out in front. So the big play to kick off the drive set them up 1st and goal, and they're able to cash in right away on play number 2.
I think I'm starting to understand more and more when we get ready to do games and we meet with coaches why they talk about big plays, explosive plays, and how it sets them up for success, because that's exactly how they were able to score on this one. We saw the touchdown. We saw the payoff, but, of course, that big, long chunk play is what got them in position.
Jaguars come to the line to start their next drive. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
But you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
They'll keep it on the ground again here. And he'll just keep 2 hands on the football as he'll be taken down after a short pickup. Just a yard there, so it brings up a tough 3rd and 12. So we're at halftime. Due to time constraints, we move you forward in today's broadcast to the beginning of the 3rd quarter. Both teams try to avoid being one and done in these playoffs as we start the second half of this AFC wildcard game. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Out come the Ravens now. They'll go on offense first here in this 3rd quarter. And they have made this look easy. Now, there's not supposed to be anything easy about the NFL playoffs, but this lead, yes, they're at home, but this has been impressive.
And we hear all the time when upsets happen, teams go on the road, that maybe home field advantage isn't all it's cracked up to be. But you and I both know the reality is teams really fight hard to get it. Why? You don't ever have to change routine. Everything's familiar going into the game. It makes things easier, and that has paid off for them in a big way in this contest. Now they're completed.
And he'll take it into the end zone for a Ravens touchdown. DK Metcalf, 32 yards, as his guys continue to put this one out of reach. Well, look, this is a team, Charles, they faced adversity all year long. They had to fight and claw to win that division, but they're putting it all together here in the wild card game.
Feels like a statement, doesn't it? An absolute statement game, a message to the top seeds. Overlook us at your own peril. We're pretty darn good.
This is taken at the 3. And he'll take it past the 25 and up to the 28-yard line. Jaguars come to the line to start their next drive. They trail offense, first time to touch the ball in quarter 3, and we'll see what they can do.
And I can't wait to see what they have planned. Because some teams script to start a half. Other teams just go, okay, these are the sequence of plays we want to run. These things worked well for us. And sometimes they throw in that big chunk play right away.
Shocker.
Try and get after them early and try and create a big play to give themselves some momentum.
See what they have up their sleeve. Pressure, and he's going to be taken down. They sack him back right around the 44.
Now, that was just absolute perfect man coverage. Nowhere for them to go with the football. Led to a sack. And that's really difficult to do in today's NFL with all these gazelles running around that you're trying to cover in the secondary.
And he's going to go down again.
Okay, let's go back a little bit and see if my schooling comes to the front. What's that old saying? Those who forget the lessons of history are doomed to repeat them. That's the same guy who's...
Oh, the pressure too great, and he goes down once more.
It's been a tough one all game long for this offensive line. They're already down big, and now you know they're just going to come after the quarterback in a big way, don't you?
Yeah, they just can't get out of their own way right now. It's created an avalanche, and an avalanche is coming right on top of them. Now this is fielded in the end zone. Give them 11 yards that time on the return. And the Ravens will get it. 1st and 10 from deep in their own territory. The field position game, such an overlooked facet, Charles, of an NFL game. But this offense, they're going to be pinned back. What an ideal punt.
An ideal punt, and it leads to that term complementary football. Because them doing that puts their defense in a great spot, doesn't it? Gives them a chance. If they want to be aggressive, try and maybe get a safety out of this whole thing, it puts them in that position.
2nd and 6. Throwing right, and that's complete. 12 yards the pickup there. Good for a Raven first. They'll look to throw here on 1st down. Into double coverage, and it's intercepted. Picked up by Deion Jones, the linebacker. And his guys are going to take over at the 34-yard line. From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10.
Check, 53's mine. Come on, baby, come on, let's go.
Throwing to start the drive. Gordon firing quickly here, and that's complete. And he'll go down at the 28. 6 yards was the pickup on the last completion, so here's 2nd and 4. 2nd and 4. Rush coming, and he's taken down. And they weren't in zone coverage. They were in man, and each man did his job.
And that looked like vintage, old-school coverage, didn't it? Man coverage reminded me of an old Raiders team.
Under pressure again, and down he goes again. Man, he got in there so quickly, Charles. What could the offense have done to adjust and account for that?
But what you're hoping is that you figure out and you see and get a clue that maybe there's going to be some pressure coming at you, and you change the blocking schemes. Maybe you go to max protection. The biggest one is maybe you bring your running back in to try and keep you clean. But in that case, that didn't happen. 0 accountability, and a sack resulted.
And this kick is not going to be close. It's well short, well right to boot. And this score will stay right where it is. The Baltimore offense at the line, set to get going. This is sort of what you would call a put-away drive, isn't it? I mean, they score here, especially a touchdown. It's almost out of reach.
It certainly feels that way, and I think that they're going to call their plays accordingly, because what you really want to do, even though you know the scoreboard is still up there and the game's going to go on, in fact, you can take the spirit away from another team. That their drive and will to come back and win can be taken with another score right here.
Still 3rd quarter, but you just get that feel.
Yeah, they're teetering right there on the brink, aren't they?
The improv act there, good for 9, and now they'll be looking at a 3rd and short, 3rd and 1. He's got an open man, he completes it to Callaway. His 2nd catch of this wild card game, and it goes for a 1st down. They'll look to throw here.
The goal for any offense versus his own defense, find the holes where guys are available and put the ball in the receiver before any defender can step up and fill it.
They did it well there. Perfectly executed crossing route. So now they'll come up on 2nd and 10, once again from the 28. They try to throw on 2nd down, but this one is incomplete. So back-to-back incompletions, and that has them staring at a 3rd and 10. He'll drop to throw. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. And how about this? 4th and long, and they're going to go for it. Back now here on EA Sports. And this is a blowout so far as we get set for the 4th quarter. A very one-sided affair. And this is right down the middle as he puts it through. And that will just add 3 more to a lead that's already out of hand. So it's 3 more points, and that widens this thing out even further here in the 4th.
And you know, in this league, you can never have enough points, but this widens it out, as you said, and now it's all about ball control, isn't it?
Here comes the Jaguars offense as they get set here.
53, Mike, 53. And let's get this, get this.
On 1st down, Gordon. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down.
That right now That's a defeated team out there. I think you can see it totally in their body language.
Hands on hips, heads low. It's just been a struggle from the start.
Yeah, this team has been thoroughly beaten right from the word go.
He'll be dropped at the 25 after a gain of 6. 6 yards is the pickup, and that'll lead to a third down. To throw on third down, Gordon. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. You never want to give up a sack. From the O-line's perspective, they hate it for several reasons, especially because they felt like they let little brother down back there in the pocket.
Oh, no doubt. They have a ton of pride, and they go into every job wanting to keep that guy clean. They want that uniform with no grass stains, no dirt, nothing up.
Now a hit and a loose football, and the Jags grab it.
And that's what friends are for.
Right. As the returner, you know who you're buying dinner for later.
Oh, without a doubt, because he just took care of you and your team in a big way. You know, you turn it over there, that's a big momentum changer, and put your defense in a bad spot.
And they move this all the way down to the 9. Give him 30 yards there. Defensively, I know they have the comfortable lead here in the 4th, but they do not want to give up big plays like that.
They want to finish strong. So oftentimes in this situation, you tighten up on...
And he's going to be dropped. Back at the 15-yard line.
You see me? They can't stop.
Well, that was point counterpoint, wasn't it? They decided to throw for it on 1st and goal. Instead, the defense counters with pressure, and the defense wins, getting a big sack.
2nd and 15. And the pressure gets to him again.
2nd goal, last thing you need to do is get pushed backwards to take a sack. But he couldn't find anywhere to go with the football. Had to eat it and ended up on the ground.
Throwing on 3rd and long. Gordon. And that is incomplete. Another incompletion. You know, it's a wonder he's still moving around back there the number of times he's been sacked.
Yeah, he's staying out there, isn't he? And you don't think about it much in a game like this, but he's showing incredible leadership. Still competing, still fighting, not taking himself out of a ball game that appears lost.
Well, in the grand scheme of things, those 3 points likely not going to matter much, but I guess they get a little closer, a little more respectability.
Yeah, you're exactly right. They've been outplayed all game long, but like my mom used to tell me all the time before I went out, dress up a little bit, son. Make yourself respectable. And that's what they're doing here. They're just dressing up the final score.
The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. And this game comfortably in hand. The scoreboard speaks for itself, but you still got your starting quarterback out there. When do you go to the backup? Let him get some time.
And that's one of the great questions in the NFL, Brandon, because I'm just going to tell you, in the 2015 season, I commentated on 3 games in a row. They were blowouts. And in none of them did the starting quarterback ever come out of the game for the team that had a big lead. And in each instance, I asked the coaches later on, why didn't you do that? And they all looked at me and said, just don't really do that in the NFL. You know, these guys play, and we just play them all the way through. Now, in certain situations, they will take them out, but for the most part, they're not as worried and concerned about getting them out of the game. And that's always puzzled me a little bit.
Out of the gun now on 3rd down. Going for Metcalf on the... That's caught inside the 20. And he will get into the end zone. It's another touchdown. This thing is ugly. So another score there. Often you talk about the 3 phases of the game. Defense, offense, special teams. It's been a clean sweep in this one, hasn't it?
It certainly has. They've been pretty dominant throughout this game. And privately, the head coach will add a 4th phase. That's the coaching. And he'll tell the ownership that as he tries to negotiate a new contract off of this win.
They are looking strong here in the 4th quarter. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. Jaguars come to the line to start their next drive. They are just obviously getting shellacked here in this one, Charles. What's the message if you're a coach for this final drive in a lopsided game like this?
For a lot of coaches,
be honest.
Don't forget today. Don't forget what has happened out here.
Yeah, use that as ammo going forward.
Exactly. Take a great look at that scoreboard. Realize how poorly everything went for us today. Coaching, playing, the whole deal. and never forget it, because
you're not going to want that feeling again.
No, you don't want that feeling again, and who knows? You may meet up with this team again.
That one good for 20 on the catch and run.
First down,
Jacksonville. Hey, here we go.
But I...
On 1st and 10, Gordon. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down.
Good job.
He was trying to keep his eyes downfield. Nobody came open.
He's trying to do everything that he had been taught, right? Every bit of the technique. But if no one's open, there is no technique except make sure you hold on to the ball as you go to the ground when you're getting sacked.
It's a pickup of 12, and that'll set up a 3rd down.
You can see the time and effort and thought that they put into their passing game, because it was evident right there. It looks like it's
nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Now the Ravens going to use one of their timeouts. It's just their first. They've got 2 more to use here in the final stages. And the Jaguars send out their punter. He's been one of their few bright spots so far. And that hits at the 6 and carries into the end zone for a touchback. Now the Baltimore offense heading back out onto the field. And a few kneel downs should just about do it. Now defensively they do have all 3 timeouts, but very little reason to use them at this point. He's got a man complete. And they're going to have this across midfield and inside the 45. 36 yards on the play. They'll set up to throw. Boy, another big play late here for an offense, Charles, that certainly has had its fair share of big plays.
Coverage has been a problem all game long, and I would say that going along with that has been confidence, because even if they had the right coverage, they've still dented them, and now it's been a real issue for them during this game.
Well, they probably don't need to run a play here, but you wonder if they're going to be able to resist on 1st and goal.
Check three.
Now a give right side. McFarland at a minuscule gain of maybe a yard from the 6 to the 5. And whistles, and they take their final timeout with 7 seconds left. And the ball smack dab on the 5-yard line. Here's 2nd and goal.
Watch the ship. Hey, watch the ship. Big edge.
Hey. Ready?
They'll keep it on the ground. McFarland, and they are going to score again. Yet another touchdown as they just add to their totals. So a little icing on the cake there before the clock hits all zeros.
What a way to finish things off. Exactly what you want. Not much time and a touchdown to put things away.
Tucker able to connect on the extra point, and the lead will swell by 1 more. A 4-play drive spanning 80 yards, and it's finished off with a 5-yard touchdown run. Tucker now to kick it away following the touchdown. This will be taken to the back of the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Jaguars come to the line to start their next drive. This is just an exercise in futility. Do you even bother running a play here offensively?
I wouldn't, because now is...
And the defense has it covered. It's intercepted. Picked off near the 44. And he will bring this back. It's a pick 6 and a Raven touchdown. That's the story of the game. They've been suffocating all game long on defense. They were suffocating there again in a big way.
And they've done it not just by out-athleting them, which is often the case, but by being able to adjust to anything they tried to throw at them and beating them to the punch each and every time. This was a defense that was well prepared.
They said beginning of the season they wanted to get past the wild card round. Well, they just got past the wild card round.
How about that, being able to put the big